Welcome to 30 for 30. This is Coach Marvin Nash. My guest today is Coach Marco Regalado, one of the most talented coaches in the Texas high school football circuit, not just coaching, with everything. One of the funniest guys I've ever met, one of the most talented guys I've ever met. So welcome, Coach. I'm glad to have you on.
Hey, man, thanks for having me on. I love what you do. Since I listen to your podcast, I've been watching these 30 for 30s. I see what you do on Twitter for the kids, and I just love it. So I'm glad I could be here talking to you.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. You know, the honor is all mine. It's not every day I get like a real life celebrity on the show. You know, I get to have a talk with. So what made you really hit celebrity status for me is when Dave Campbell, Texas Football, put out the specialized cover, and I got to see that online. I thought that was one of the coolest things that I'd ever seen. So how did that come about?
So that was just kind of jokingly. I tweeted at Tepper and I said, "Man, how many retweets to make me the cover of the Dave Campbell's magazine?" I think he'd respond. He's like, "Well, I'll tell you what, if you get 500 retweets, I'll make you a mock cover of it," which for me is big time because I'm looking at it right now. I have Dave Campbell's magazines from when I was in high school. I collect them every year. I'd make my mom take. We go to HEB, pull it off, and I have them from basically like 2008 to now. So the summer edition is a big deal, for me. So for them to just do a mock-up like that it was unreal. I'm hoping I can like frame that one day. It's too cool.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, man, I know we met a long time ago through this beautiful app called Twitter. I mean, it's like a huge connecting piece for coaches to meet guys, not just in the state, but like all over the nation, really all over the world. But I know we connected, and because we kind of have a similar story as to why we got into coaching. Can you kind of just tell us what got you to where you are now?
Sure. I wasn't a naturally athletic kid. My parents aren't athletes. There's nobody really in my extended family that are athletes. But it's just something that kind of, and I fell in love with it late. Funny story is I wasn't going to play football in high school. I didn't like it in junior high. And my mom said, she's a teacher. You need the athletic credit to graduate. Just get 1 year and you're done. You don't have to do it anymore. It's better than being in PE. So I did it. And my freshman coaches that I had just really taught me the game of football, because before then I couldn't sit down and watch a Dallas Cowboys game on TV and know what was going on. I wasn't interested. And they kind of taught me the game, and that got me interested. And that's at that point when I fell in love with football. It was my freshman year of high school, and not taking anything away from my parents just because they weren't athletes. My dad taught me great. He taught me how to have a great work ethic and great morals and stuff like that. Work ethic that I still use today in everything I do. But it wasn't until I got to like my couple of years of playing varsity football, those coaches I had there is really when I kind of fell in love with the idea of being an educator and a coach. Because I had a great upbringing, but I saw what they did for some of my teammates who didn't, and how they were there for them. And even me, when I had certain things that I needed answers for, if I had questions, they were always there. They were great role models, and that's something that I wanted to do. What better profession to change lives and help kids out than education, and of course, just like any parent would, want you to do more, because my mom's an educator and she loves what she does. She's been doing it for 30 plus years. So I initially went to Texas State and I tried physical therapy out, and I did it. I was about to graduate with that degree. And after my senior year, I did a 300-hour internship, and I just realized it's not for me. That's not what I want to do. So, after I graduated with my bachelor's, I went to Texas A&M Kingsville to get my master's. And even then, I still didn't know what I wanted to get my master's in. It wasn't until I saw educational administration, I hopped on that, and I just kind of fell in love with education all over again, like with the idea of it, because like I hadn't revisited that idea in 4 years. And I was a graduate assistant athletic trainer at the time because it was similar to physical therapy. And again, I have a huge respect for athletic trainers. They work hard. It just wasn't for me. And I was blessed that the defensive coordinator at the time and the linebackers coach, defensive coordinators coach David Brown, they had a couple coaches leave. They had a graduate assistant spot open, and they asked if I wanted to transition from training to coaching. Because even when I was a trainer, I was always in their offices bugging them, like, can I get on the board? I love football. So they'd let me sit in on meetings and stuff like that. So I just found my way into that. So I got to do that for a year, and it was amazing. And I had the opportunity, to stick around as a kind of like a very, limited coach there with the college part time, or take a high school job at a local high school. And at the time, the best option for me was taking the high school job, and I don't regret it at all because I love coaching high school. I love coaching college. It's just a different beast, getting kids that are already fine tuned and just running with it. But to be able to get these kids, and especially because my first coaching job was at a 3A school, one of the most unorthodox 3A schools in the state of Texas, Santa Gertrudis Academy. And their campus is an old college dorm room that they turned into a campus. They have no facilities. So we had to share facilities sometimes with the college, like especially like playing field. Like our weight room was on the King Ranch, so we had to bus the kids to the King Ranch. Like anything you can think of, it was just like not a normal school, but the kids had to apply to get in. So they were very, very talented academic kids. And being a small school, you have to coach from junior high to varsity. You coach all three levels. You have to paint fields. You drive buses. You really you learn to work hard. So I'm really glad I took that route, and I worked at a small school before I did anything. And I stuck there for 2 years, had an opportunity to advance in my career, went to Mathis High School, and I got to wear many hats that I enjoyed. I got to be the strength coordinator, special teams coordinator, coach linebackers, head powerlifting, and just really the right-hand man to the AD. And I really kind of dove into that. I asked if I could, just any way I could help. I helped with the purchase orders, the travel requests, anything like that, because that's something I really aspire to do. So I did that for a year. Our AD at the time left, and I had an option of staying or entertaining another, job offer. And it's just crazy how it happens. The defensive coordinator that I was a GA for at Kingsville got a head coaching job at PSG Memorial. So he gave me a call, and I said, say less. I mean, I love that guy. I love working for Coach Brown. So that's where I'm at right now. And we just finished up our first year at PSG Memorial. We're trying to change things up, trying to build up the culture here. But it's just like I tell people, my journey through coaching and to get where I'm at is not usually the one you take. I didn't know what I wanted to do right off the bat. I didn't play college football. I don't have athletes in my family. I don't have an extensive network of coaches, or I didn't at the time, that I could call and for a job in a certain area that I wanted. So I just kind of had to take what I could get and run with it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I can respect that. I think that is one of the biggest things that we as coaches figure out, is that you have to really love coaching the game, because everybody loves Friday nights. That's awesome. You get you watch the movies, you watch, me myself, I'm still watching the series right now on Hulu, but you love that atmosphere of it. But when you have to drive buses, when you have to paint fields, purchase orders, when you have to get lunches ready for kids, all kinds of things that you have to do, all these different hats that you wear, you have to really, really, really love the game. So that's to be commended, man, that you found where you want to be. And it's not like you hopped in it for the money, because that's not why we do it at all. Absolutely. Well, I've really enjoyed, I know for me personally, sitting here with the spring break, got to hang out with my mom, and that was cool. I had the kids around us, and they were like, okay, sorry guys, we got to go back to school. And they're like, oh, can we get another week? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. Well, by the time I make it back to my house, not only did we get another week, we had another month. And then that month turned to forever. So while we're sitting here and I'm doing fourth grade math with my youngest son, which I'm not a math guy, or to help my daughter with history or whatever the case may be, I happen to open my Twitter up, because I'm very much on Twitter, and I start seeing these funny videos. I'm like, hey, like, I don't have a TikTok. I don't know how TikTok works. I hadn't figured that part out yet. But luckily, I opened my Twitter, and this guy I'm following, this really funny coach, has these great things. That coach would be you. Tell me, how did you find the time, the creativeness, and really the energy to just keep on making these videos that have entertained so many coaches over this break?
So TikTok was introduced to me during powerlifting season. My powerlifters and the girl powerlifters were in the weight room doing their renegades and their dances and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, that's lame. Like, I want and they kept telling me, like, Coach, you're funny. You say funny things. You should have a TikTok. I said, no, I'm not going to be doing dances and stuff like that. That's not what I'm about. But 2 weeks into quarantine, I got bored enough and I downloaded the app, and I realized it's not all dancing. It reminded me a lot of the old app Vine. I don't know if you're familiar with that. Just like, short, funny videos. You can be as creative as you want. And I started off posting, just videos of me playing guitar and stuff like that. I guess I'm not that great, so it didn't it didn't blow up or something. I'm kidding. But I thought, man, I'm just itching, football. I want something to do with football. And I was playing a lot of Madden at the time, and that's when that first idea of the video came out. I said, you know what? I'm gonna make Madden. I'm gonna treat it like game day. Put my polo on, my slacks, and everything like that. And that was that first video, and I just kind of put it out for my small coaching network, my friends and family, and people shared and retweeted it, and it kind of just kept expanding and expanding. And at the time I had like 2,500 followers on Twitter, and I was following like 2,500 people. And now it's like I'm almost at 13,000. It's been pretty unreal, and never ever did I expect it to kind of blow up the way it did or reach this many people. It was just it's pretty humbling.
Absolutely. I know for us personally, we're on Zoom talking to our kids, and we're having our coaches meetings on Zoom. We actually opened a meeting up on Zoom with somebody screen sharing one of your videos, because we have that old coach who is very close to retiring, and you have it nailed. I mean, that's him in a nutshell. So it's fantastic, man. I really appreciate it. I know a lot of other coaches do too. You're a talented dude. I don't know if many people know how talented. You mentioned the guitar earlier. Talk a little bit more about this amazing singing and playing voice that you have.
I wouldn't say amazing, but no, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So, growing up in Zapata, Texas, it's a small high school. You're kind of told to do everything. Be a Renaissance man. Don't just we didn't have enough kids to just be like, I'm going to play football. That's it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I played football. I did powerlifting, but I was also on the theater team, the one act team. Did UIL, calculator, and all that stuff. And I was in the school's mariachi, and that kind of introduced me to music. I learned how to play guitar. And from that genre of music, I branched off into different genres of music that I like to listen to.
Uh-huh.
And so I've been playing, about 15 years or so, since I was in sixth or seventh grade. And singing is actually something that's a little newer to me. In high school, I never sang with our school's mariachi because I was never confident in my voice. And it wasn't about being nervous, because public speaking is not an issue for me. I did theater and I did all these things. It's just, I was just never really confident with my voice. And it wasn't until I got older when I kind of, I guess, grew into it, and I found like country music and genres of music that fit my style of voice, instead of me trying to force myself to sound like Bruno Mars. It wasn't going to happen. So I guess that's how I got into music. But for me right now, it's, people listen to me and they're like, why don't you try to start a band? Why don't you try to do more gigs? And it's just, music is my kind of like my peaceful time. I do it usually on Sundays or time when I'm a little stressed, and music is my de-stressor, and it's kind of my time to get away from everything that's going on, and I just play music. I never would want to make a career out of it. It's my hobby, my little passion.
I got you. And that's so important, man. You kind of hit on something that, yeah, I think that's going to help a lot of our listeners. A lot of people have asked me before, like, okay, you got a podcast? Like, what made you start that? Well, the thing is, I have a speech impediment. Like, I'm really like nervous about it. I'm kind of self-conscious about the way I speak. So I said, you know what? I'm going to attack something that would make me completely uncomfortable. And boom, here you have like a podcast going on. And I don't know, people think I'm a dynamic speaker, but I'm not. It's just what I do for a release and to build some confidence. I think with what you just said there, how you weren't necessarily confident in your voice quite yet, but now it's been like a voice for a lot of people. I don't know if you even realize that this time period, the past couple of months, man, a lot has been going on. And really, I told my kids this the other day. I was like, man, ever since Kobe passed, it seems like it's been just a crazy year. But the lightheartedness you bring to a somewhat dark situation, people really, really appreciate that. So you didn't get followers just because you're funny. You got followers because you're inspiring, and then you also happen to help people laugh too. So I think that's fantastic, man.
And I think that's something that hit me a little later into it. At first I thought, man, people just think I'm funny, but it was I had a coach up North Texas, Wichita Falls area. Kind of, he reached out to me one time on Facebook and just sent me a message. Said, I just had my 7-year-old daughter pass away about a month ago, but I just want to let you know that your videos, that 1 little minute video, is a time that I can remove myself and laugh and smile for 1 minute. So thank you for doing that. And that's when I realized this is why I'm doing it, because people need this. People need to smile, to feel good. If I can distract them for 1 minute a day from anything that's going on, whether it's COVID, whatever's going on in their life that they may not want to face at the time, or just need an escape from, because we all need an escape. Music's my escape. That's how I get away. But if my silly little video can provide that, then I'm going to keep doing it until I can't anymore. And people keep, when are you going to stop? Well, I guess when I run out of ideas, after a certain while, Friends ended, The Office ended. It's going to happen sooner or later. But if I can do anything to help the situation, then yeah, I want to keep doing this. I want to keep making people smile.
Absolutely. And like I said, man, it means more than you know, which I think you're starting to realize now. So please keep those things coming, man. I look forward to it every time. I hate to admit this, but yeah, I have notifications on for when you tweet. So when I see it instantly, I'm like, yeah, here we go. Another one. So keep those things coming, man.
It's awesome, and that's an honor, man. I guess because other people have told me, just to have people saying like, I turn my notifications on for you. I'm like, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's you and Matt Stepp. Those are my two notifications. So, no doubt. Well, let me ask a question here, Coach. Uh, one segment I like to do in these, and I haven't done it in a while, is I like to ask people their top 5. So, random situation, putting you on the spot, but I think we can get some real conversation going here. So, if you had to choose your top 5 musical artists, who would they be?
My first one would be Jimi Hendrix, because that's the reason I play guitar. A big reason why I do it. I just heard him one time. My dad was playing a video. I guess he had an old DVD of Woodstock, and man, he did some things with the guitar that I'd never heard, and that's why I wanted to play.
Awesome.
Let's see, man, Luke Combs. His music got me through some dark times. His music speaks to me for some reason, and I don't even know how I stumbled onto him one day. But that dude, I mean, if he could ever listen to this, like, dude, I have all his songs, all his albums. That's mostly what I play on the guitar. I love his stuff. Just with country music, everything about country is emotional, but it's just great. Bruno Mars, just because he's one of my favorite entertainers. I've seen him live twice. Just amazing musical performance, like flawless every time. Number 4, I guess they're a duo, but mainly Tenacious D. I went up to Dallas in October to go watch them, and that's been like a bucket list type thing. I've been listening to Tenacious D before the movie, like back in '98 or '99. My brother showed me the CD, and Jack Black is one of my favorite actors, and it's just that band is just awesome, because not only they're funny, they're really good. Like, they're really talented at what they do. Let's see, number 5. Man, that's a tough one. I guess it would have to be Jimmy Page, guitarist for Led Zeppelin, just because, again, he's another guitar virtuoso type guy. One of those guys I listened to growing up. See, I listened to a lot of oldies growing up, and everybody would be listening at the time, like in middle schools, like Lil Wayne was just popping right now. And I'm like, what are you listening to? I was like, you're not going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fantastic. An old soul. I was just like that. Yeah. I was listening to like Al Green and Marvin Gaye and everybody else listening to
I love R&B, man.
Tupac. Yeah. Yeah. I was always the old soul. I'd pull up to the club in college, blasting my Al Green, and everybody's like, whose uncle is that? But that's me, I love it. Fantastic. All right, now this is the tagline for you. So this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, a 30 for 30 series. I put it out. I hope I don't get sued. I don't think I have a big enough audience, so I think I'm good. But I want to allow each one of my guests to name their episode. So if somebody was doing a story for you, a 30 for 30, what would be the title?
Man, let's see. I guess the coach that comes with smiles, maybe something like that.
I like that. I like that. Because not only do you come with the smiles, you make sure everybody else has one after they've talked to you. Man, this has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to, because I know there's many TikTok videos that need to be made, and I might be impeding some action happening. But I really appreciate you taking some time to share with us. Coach, I would love for you to go ahead and drop where everybody can follow you. Go ahead and put any TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, anything that you're on.
Well, you can find me on Twitter at Coach Regalado. You can find me on TikTok at Coach Regalado, all lowercase. And you can try to find me on Facebook, but that's really hard for me to keep track of accepting all those friend requests and stuff like that. The easiest thing would be to find me on Twitter.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Coach, man, just keep those videos coming. You have a big fan out of me, man. So hopefully we'll catch up, coach at school somewhere, sit down, have any. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a live interview while we're there, man.
Love it.
All right. Thank you, Coach. You have a fantastic day.
You too, man.
Appreciate it.